Okay, we're gonna do a trade recap. This I took two trades today, for one loss and then one win. Today was still a good day. I think it was more probability yesterday, but today was a decent day. You had to be very patient, and I think explain it. Join Discord. Like I said, I was looking for a setup up in here. I didn't see it, and I ended up staying even longer to see this and other stuff. But like I said, join the free Discord just for ICT concepts and more material and ask me questions and anything like that. But we can jump into here. So what I was looking at was I started trading at 10:30. If you, like I said, I'm gonna start back testing me trading at 950 macro. But as right now, I'm gonna stay solid and wait for 10:30. Let the market do what it's gonna do. And so you gotta remember this candle right here on the 15-minute already printed. So I see all this in my backdrop. I didn't take this buy, but I thought it was a clean buy. If I was trading 950, I would have took it. But I started trading at 10:30, and we took out this buy side. So if you zoom out, for me personally, we still had all-time highs. We had like a lot of different things we could target on the bullish side. So long story short, seeing this backdrop again, I saw this candle reprinted. I'm looking for us to come back down, and I'm looking for the same thing I was looking for last time, which is us coming up, making these equal highs right there, and then dropping down to 1050 macro. And I want to see that bullish reaction out of here, and then I was buying it and then taking these stops out right here. So go down to the 5-minute, same exact thing, right? I'm looking for us to build liquidity, come down in that 1050 macro. I'm looking for this wick to come down to the 15-minute and 5-minute for value gap. Once get up in here and basically shoot back up, targeting this liquidity right here. I'm gonna go down to the 2-minute, and you can see that I didn't get the reaction that I was looking for. So what I'll be looking for is basically that AMD model, the KJ model I talked about. I don't know how many times I talked about it, but accumulation. Then I'm looking for that, right? For us to come back up and target this liquidity that we left. So you see that getting formed right there, coming back down to this 5-minute, 15-minute for value gap, and then market structuring back up. So when I was looking for market structure to come back up, I was looking for this candle right here. This was fine that we reacted off of this bullish for value. Bearish for value gap, and order block drop back down. That's fine. I want to see a candle get above here, and we got a candle above here, making this a CSD, change state delivery, or confirming this is an order block. I would have been buying it, and it would have been looking something similar to like this. So something like that. And I would have been targeting back up. So these equal highs, and then I would be targeting back up to make that daily gap and all that good stuff. But as you can see, I didn't get the confirmation I wanted, that I needed for us to get back above here. So I didn't even take this buy. I didn't do anything to this because I didn't see the confirmation. And you can see we just started going back down. Now, for me personally, this is what you need to know when you need to switch buys. For me, I was bullish. Like I was bullish from here to here to here, and then I was a bullish star right here. Once we did this, this was my last chance for me personally to be bullish. So I was waiting for if we was to come up, down, and then start market structuring back up. Now I was like, okay, maybe we do that. I was going to have to wait a little bit longer for another buy. But once we shot back down, doing this, and started coming back lower after this fair value gap, respecting that, I immediately switched. I had to switch. You guys switch your bias. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you zoom out, this is a market maker sell model. Like I said, I didn't recognize this up here. Again, I was still bullish on the higher time frame, so I'm okay with that. But this is where you got to recognize, like, this is a consolidation. This small money reversal. We are in a 4-hour gap and a daily gap. The problem is we've been bullish this whole day, whole week, and like I said, I was expecting this at least get one more high up and then dropping lower, but whatever. Either way it goes, this is a small money reversal. This being the OG consolidation, original consolidation, small money reversals happening right here. So that'll be a low risk sell. Then we just drop this leg down, right? And this is the small money reversal. And the reason this is important, right? The reason this is important is because notice this is a sell model right now. In real time, right in here, I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting this to come back up in here, right? So I'm not taking buys. What's the point of taking buys? Well, I'm not expecting this to come back up in here. And this is a small reversal. We're on the sell side of the curve, right? Buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve. I need to flip my buys into look lower, right? I need to look lower. What targets are lower? I just need to know the buys on the 15-minute. I'll go to the 15-minute real quick. you can see in real time this being a small reverse again. I was going for those highs, but at the same time, after we drop back down, I'm looking at how we left a 15-minute fair value gap, and we got this bearish breaker. Like, look at all this confirmation being like, okay, if we was bullish, look how much all price action we have to get back through to be back bullish. Like, it's just easier. I just think it makes more sense that after pushing back up and then having this immediately drop down, now respecting any of these bullish P arrays, right? This order block, all that good stuff. Like, it's time to switch buys, right? In my opinion, it's really time to switch buys. I would like to stay bullish, but I have been like 15 minute 1 hour is telling me that, hey, we're more bearish than we think. Oh, more bearish than we're bullish right now. With that being said, all I was waiting for is this is a 5 minute fair value gap, but on the real time frame, I'm gonna go down and drop this right here because I was waiting for a pullback. Right, I'm waiting for a pullback to a 15 minute fair value gap. You can clearly see this is a 15 minute fair value gap. I don't want this big blue box on my thing, but you can see that we was actually in 15 minute fair value gap. And once we was in that 15 minute fair value gap, I'm looking for shorts. I'm just looking for shorts. For me, my targets were this right here and London lows. So we had London lows right here. You can see that we really equal London lows, and I was like, okay, bet I'm changing my targets. I want us to shoot back up into this 15 minute and 5 minute fair value gap, and I want to see what price does. So this is where I took a loss and then took a win. I wish I had the video. Next time I should have the video of it next time. But this basically was a trade. We came up, came down. Once I saw this order block hold, come back below 12:30. Oh, that's 12:30. Below 12 o'clock right here. I was ready. This is 12 o'clock open. That's opening price right there. I was ready to take a short, and I put my stop loss right at this high. So that was my stop loss right at the high, and I was looking for pretty much a short opportunity right there, going for those lows. Something like this. Either here, I was going to scale off profits, but either some here like this. You can see that we literally took me out of that trade right there. That literally took me out of the trade right there. And then I got into the trade when 12:30 candle print. So when 12:30 opening price, saw the reaction around 12:30. That's, in my opinion, that's very important to me, how I trade. I then got back in something like this when I saw that candle. Stop loss right here. It was up in this area because I think bullish fair value gap. So if you see it, we inverse this fair value gap in 1 minute. This is why I put my stop loss. It's fair value gap. So come back around, and that's why I want to give you some breathing room. Came back around, came back above, swept 12:30, open one more time. Then we start market shift back down, put more on the contracts, showing it like that around that high because I don't want to see the high be taken. And now I'm just looking for a trade very similar to this right here. So looking at this low to be taken. Came back down. You see his market shifting back down, coming to this fair value gap. At that point, now this point right here, when this candle is shooting back up, I had to break even. So if it came back above here, I was like, I'm cool with that. I'm only 12 o'clock in 1:30's price opening. This is prices from the next other day that I don't want to explain because we'll be here all day. These price points are very sensitive to me, and these are great targets for me to target as I'm shooting for the draw liquidity being that low, and both of these midnights open. So this is actually midnight and 12 o'clock open for the very previous days, and I feel like price does a good job of gravitating those. I didn't leave a runner. I took all contracts off right here. I did not leave a runner because I promise you I did not think we was going to hit this target like this. I thought we was going to do it at maybe 130, 140, but you can see within like this candle, next candle, next candle, next candle. This all happened before 130. So I did not prepare for that, and I did not leave a runner, so I just left everything right here. But this was my like full objective. I was just hoping we was gonna get one more stab up manipulation at 130, and I was gonna be able to target that. But either way it goes, that's what we was targeting for. And like I said, this is me just stay on the bias. I talked about this in the last video. I talked about this in so many other videos. I don't mind taking a loss especially if I'm in the right bias, right? People who took a bias in here, again, in my opinion, as long as if you switch biases is good, but if you took a buy in here, it's just understanding where we was at in a higher time frame. In my opinion, we was just more bearish than bullish. And like I said, if I'm going to take losses, I want to take losses in the right direction. Like I said, we had I thought we, manipulated this high right here, came back down, market shifted back down below this 5-minute fair value gap. To me, this was a solid trade. Stop loss above here. Take that high out one more time. Then I saw us make this bearish fair value gap. Not bearish fair value gap, excuse me. Inverse this fair value gap right here. And that's why I thought we was, again, pretty solid on taking this trade right here. And I gave it some breathing room because we wasn't inside the macro. So we was inside the other macro. So we was just the 1220 and 1240 macro was just ending. And I really like to be in that 1250, that 50 10 10 macro. But wasn't able to get it. And yeah, it was a trade. So I thought it was a good trade overall. But like I said, I'm going to just get better and be able to yeah, I'm just looking at this loss. I don't think I would do anything different. I'm just, sometimes you go back in your mind, you think about something like that. I like that. I wait for manipulation. That was the biggest thing. So we put in this high, came back down, then put in this other high right here, and we took these people out of the trade. That's when I got in. So in my opinion, we inverse this for value gap and everything. So in my opinion, I don't feel like we're going to manipulate this one more time too many times. So I kind of go back and looking at this trade, and I kind of like that. This is a good loss. That's a good loss. But that's a trade. That's a trade breakdown. That's a trade recap. Like I said, I was bullish, but we kind of flipped the biases once we saw this big explosion down, filling this all back in. So yeah, let me know what you took in Discord or on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one.